Everybody, welcome to this new review from your favorite metal reviewer, Markus from ROCKMETALBANDS.com. Today we're dealing with the 11th studio album from Deep Purple, Slaves and Masters. Here it is. As you can see, this is not the usual Deep Purple album, and many of you may wonder why I've decided to make a review of this album. The thing is that I heard so many complain about the fact that Joe Lynn Turner wasn't the right guy behind the microphone, and the lyrics were too cheesy on a couple of occasions. I also heard that this was a Purple Rainbow album because Turner basically forced the other guys to play the things that he liked, and they did it because they are professional musicians, and they used all their best skills, and this is partly true. But I would say that this is not an obstacle, this is not a negative aspect. I think this is a different version of Deep Purple, which many traditional fans have not been able to accept or assimilate. But this is not bad at all. It is a really good lot of songs, and I think that Turner is different from Gillan. He cannot achieve those high frequencies when he screams. Yes, but he has another style, and I think that there are a lot of songs where he puts a lot of passion, and that's something very precious, because that's what is necessary during those songs. And when it is necessary to put some harder stuff, he's still the right guy. So this is not a bad thing at all. It's just different. And many traditional people, many traditional fans of hard rock and metal tend to be so linked to their favorite singers, usually the first ones of the bands, that they will never accept the new material with the new singers. It happens, I know, but this doesn't mean it's such a bad album, and that's why I've decided to make a review, because I think it deserves justice after all these years of harsh criticism. Mm, First of all, going to the visual side, you can see that again, many people complained about the style that was chosen for this front cover, which is also similar to the back cover. I think you can see it well, or well enough to see that the back side is basically just like the front side without the details, and the colors are still the same. The details are about some key elements of Deep Purple, a track, um, a time device, vinyls, and the track is molding to a human ear, and all these elements are some of Purple's career. I think that there is probably a connection to Salvador Dali's style, and it's something that hasn't been discussed. I heard a lot of interviews back then, and this topic was never faced when the band was asked about the new album. I think it's an interesting aspect to deal with now. Um, Another thing is that the title of the album, Slaves and Masters, is not related to the front cover because it's the front cover is related to Fortuneteller, one of the songs, one of the 9 songs included in the album, and this is something unusual, but nothing so tragic. It's just something to observe. Going to the musical side, first of all, we have to say that this 11th studio album by Purple was produced by their bass player, Roger Glover, who was not new to that because he already produced Judas Priest's 1977 album, and I think he did a good job because everything is balanced, everything works out, and everything is clearly audible, bass included, even in the fastest and most intricate passages. And what I like is that the guitars during the solos are not so high in the mix, and I really love the way the vocals are delivered because they sound powerful when it is necessary, but also passionate when there are mm, the most the most delicate songs, which are ballads, but they are not cheesy like many said. They're just songs that deal with human emotions, and so Turner does his job in a supreme manner. Again, the production is also very very good, very well based as to the drum side because the the snare drums sound very powerful. There is a slight echo, but they are also dry, and that's something that could not sound so well. But if you listen to the album, you will understand that the choice was the right one. And I think that in the end, for the production possibilities that they had back in 1990, it was a good job. Remember that Pro Tools came out in 1992, 1993. So going to the songs aspect, I would say that the 9 songs are all of the same high quality, and we can go from faster songs like the opener King of Dreams or the closing track Wicked Ways, because Wicked Ways is a song that contains 2 main fast structures, but there is also a slow breakdown tempo, and that is something that prepares for the final climax. And when I drive my car, I always tend to push the accelerator pedal because it gives me so much adrenaline. It's an amazing way to conclude an album. There are no fillers. There is another fast song, "The Cut Runs Deep," and "Fire in the Basement" is another excellent song. It starts with a riff that reminds me of Iron Maiden's debut album, but it's a song with so many different elements. There are also some blues elements after a couple of minutes. And like I said, there are a couple of ballads, we could say, "Love Conquers All" and "True Thirds." not bad at all. They are really well performed and arranged. So again, am I a big fan of Deep Purple so that I can't see any faults in this record? No, actually, I've always been labeled as an extreme metal guy. So if I'm talking about this album so greatly, probably it's because it deserves all these good comments. This review also has another intent. I'd like you to listen to this album again and try and find all these elements I talked to you about, and and then tell me in the comment section if you still think it's such a bad album. Because if you still think it's a bad album, that is your opinion. That's good. But I think that there are so many bands that have never been able to produce such a good album in their whole career. So if this is the lowest point in Deep Purple's career, well, that's not so bad. In 2020, this year, they have still released another album, and I think that many people will have to face that the new singer is not always um, able to conquer old fans' hearts. And maybe this is why they sent Jolene Turner away. Yes, it's a bit rainbow based. I know it's not the same, but there are different phases in a band's evolution. And the Deep Purple style, the Deep Purple mark is always there. It's just expressed with a different lineup. So it's a pity that neither of these songs are played live. That's because Ian Gillan doesn't feel comfortable singing them. Who knows? But it's not an album to forget or to put into a shelf and let it take dust. No, not at all. So listen to that again and write a comment. And if you like this video, you can also subscribe to my channel, and you can like it. And so be ready for my next review on video. I still haven't decided what it will be. I'm a very impulsive guy, so I don't make plans, and we'll see. For the moment, I hope you enjoyed this review, and see you next. Stay metal.